Welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work. In the hustle of profit, product, and productivity, it's easy to neglect the how, our ethics, our conduct, and our internal state of being. But what if the secret to sustainable success wasn't found in the latest management trend, but in wisdom that's existed for thousands of years? The host of this podcast, Kimberly Killer, is here to explore the ancient concepts of yamas and niyamas as a powerful framework for modern leadership. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to help you apply proven lessons from the yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today. I'm your host and guide, Kimberly Kaler, and it's my great pleasure to share my insight on how to meld mindfulness into our work world, however you define work, as a teacher, a corporate executive, or community volunteer. Today's topic is tapas and leadership, the fire of discipline and resilience. In the landscape of modern leadership, we often celebrate that spark, that initial flash of inspiration, the grand vision, or the breakthrough idea. We love the launch parties and the ribbon cuttings, but any seasoned leader knows that the spark is the easy part. The real work, the work that determines whether an organization rises or falls, happens in the long, often unglamorous slog that follows. This is where tapas comes in. The third niyama of yoga philosophy, tapas translates literally to heat or fire. It refers to the burning discipline required to transform potential into reality. It is the friction generated by going against the grain of our habits, the heat created by sustained effort, and the inner fire that keeps us moving forward when obstacles arise. For a leader, tapas is the engine of execution. It is the grit to stick to a strategic plan when distractions abound. It is the resilience to weather market downturns without losing hope. It is the self-discipline to do the hard things, have the tough conversations, make the unpopular decisions, and show up every single day fully, simply because they're necessary for the greater vision. Tapas is that fire that refines. We tend to think of discipline as a form of punishment or rigidity. We imagine a drill sergeant barking orders or a monk living in austerity. But in the context of leadership, tapas is not about suffering. It's about refinement. Just as gold is purified by fire, removing impurities to reveal its true value, a leader is refined by the heat of discipline. Without tapas, leadership remains superficial. We might have great ideas, but without the discipline to execute them, they evaporate. We might have strong values, but without the discipline to uphold them under pressure, they're just words on a wall. Tapas and its connection to vision. Vision is useless without the discipline to pursue it. Many leaders are visionary dreamers, but they lack the fire to burn through the inevitable resistance. Resistance shows up as bureaucratic red tape, team skepticism, budget cuts, or simply the inertia of how we've always done it. Applying tapas means staying faithful to the vision when the excitement fades. It is the refusal to let the urgent displace the important. A leader with strong tapas keeps the destination in sight and drags the present reality toward it, inch by inch, day by day. This consistency signals to the team that the vision isn't just a flavor of the month, but a true North Star worth following. Resilience, the heat of transformation. In business, things rarely go exactly according to plan. A key client leaves, a product launch fails, a global crisis disrupts a supply chain. In these moments, the organization looks to its leader. If the leader crumbles, the organization falters. Tapas is the source of resilience. It is the inner strength that allows a leader to stand in the heat of a crisis without melting down. This doesn't mean being emotionless or robotic. It means having the self-control to process emotions constructively and the discipline to focus on solutions rather than blame. When a leader embodies tapas, they model resilience for their team. They show that setbacks are not stop signs, but part of the process. They demonstrate that failure is just data, fuel for the fire of improvement. This attitude transforms a fragile culture into an anti-fragile one. where challenges actually make the team stronger and more cohesive. Let's talk about strategy versus habit. One of the most profound applications of tapas in leadership is the discipline to choose strategy over habit. We are creatures of habit. It is cognitively easier to do what we did yesterday than to think critically about what is needed today. Habit says, let's just have the weekly status meeting because it's on the calendar. Tapas says, is this meeting still adding value? If not, I have the discipline to cancel it, but reclaim that time and bring the meeting back at any time if it's needed. Habit says, I'll answer these emails now because they are easy. Tapas says, I'll close my inbox and spend the next 2 hours on the strategic roadmap, even though it's mentally taxing. Tapas is the conscious effort to break the inertia of autopilot. It forces us to ask, are we being busy or are we being effective? It requires the mental discipline to stop, think, and choose the harder, more strategic path over the comfortable, familiar one. Actionable tips for practicing tapas. Building this inner fire doesn't happen overnight. It is a muscle that must be exercised. Here are some practical ways to cultivate tapas in your leadership and in your organization. Number 1, embrace the one hard thing rule. Each day, identify one task that you are avoiding. The phone call you don't want to make, the report you don't want to write, the feedback that you're scared to give. Do that thing first. This practice builds the muscle of overcoming resistance. It proves to your brain that you can handle discomfort, and the sense of accomplishment fuels you for the rest of the day. Number 2, strategic planning as a discipline. Tapas thrives on structure. Commit to a rigorous strategic planning rhythm, whether it's quarterly offsites or weekly reviews, and stick to it religiously. Treat these sessions as sacred. Do not let the whirlwind of daily operations cancel them. This discipline ensures that you are constantly recalibrating your actions to align with your long-term vision. Number 3, that old mantra, fail to plan, plan to fail. This old adage is pure tapas. The discipline of preparation is often overlooked. Before a high-stakes meeting or negotiation, put in the work. Research the other party, anticipate objections, and clarify your objectives. Winging it is the opposite of tapas. The heat of preparation prevents the burn of failure. Number 4, distinguish between comfort and safety. We often confuse being comfortable with being safe. Growth rarely happens in the comfort zone. Encourage your team to take calculated risks. When they feel the heat of a challenge, a tight deadline, a complex problem, a public speaking opportunity, reframe it. This discomfort you are feeling isn't a sign that something is wrong. It's the feeling of tapas. It's the heat of you growing. Number 5, practice no to protect the yes. Discipline is often about subtraction. It takes immense tapas to look at a good opportunity and say no, because it distracts from the great opportunity. Audit your current projects. Is there a zombie project that's shuffling around, eating resources but going nowhere? Have the discipline to kill it. This clears the space for your team to focus their fire on what truly matters. The light of the fire. Ultimately, the fire of tapas does 2 things. It burns and it illuminates. It burns away the excuses, the lethargy, and the distractions that keep us small. And in doing so, it illuminates the path forward. A leader with tapas becomes a beacon. Their discipline creates a sense of stability and predictability that is deeply reassuring to the team. People know that this leader will do what they say. They know that when the heat rises, this leader won't run. This kind of ethical, disciplined leadership inspires others to ignite their own potential, creating an organization that burns bright with purpose and resilience.
Thank you so much for listening to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to meld mindfulness into the work we do. We invite you to subscribe as well as visit wisdomfortheworkwedo.com for additional resources. Until next time, we invite you to consider how you can apply the wisdom yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today, with integrity, clarity, and compassion.